Right now, you all might notice that when you run this daily sales financial, this number here doesn't always match up perfectly with this restaurant sales summary. So like if I open this, and by the way, what this and we added included RDS markups because a lot of times people thought this was just the restaurant sales. So when you go to this, you would look at like food sales and think 51, 73, 58, which of course in this case it does add up, but that's because there's no RDS markup. If you had an RDS markup here, you would have to add up the food sales plus the markup because a markup sorry, this line, a markup is revenue on the sales side. So that wasn't adding up perfectly, which we made a bunch of changes, which will all these all should go out global on Tuesday. But getting back to the line items for a redelivery and how they're reflected in reporting, they're reflected as a new order. When you use the redelivery button, it's a new order. And then the credit that's auto applied to it when you use that redelivery button to pay for that order, right? Because if you're doing a redelivery, the customer is usually not paying for it. That shows up in the current order credits. So it's a debit and a credit where you're getting, the sale is being registered, but then a credit for that sale is also being registered. So it does show up as like sales, and then the credit against it that's applied to the order works against your total profit at the end of the day. Does that answer the question, Alex?
Part of it.
Okay.
What about the taxes portion of it? It looks like it's a sell, and I'm collecting taxes from the restaurant, and due to the credit, and
those taxes should
those taxes
fall off. So when a coupon is added, it deducts from the amount, or not a credit. And I believe, and I'll have to look at an example, but it should deduct from the amount of taxes because you're not collecting funds on that, right? It's you're giving it away for free basically.
That's essentially an example for an Orlando Express order.
Yeah, the 36425.
And in the taxes report, it looks like I'm still liable for the taxes, and in the restaurant invoice, it looks like I'm charging the restaurant for taxes.
Do you know what day that order's on by any chance?
Hold on a second.
I'm pulling it up too. Jeremiah, did you have a question?
6/13.
6/13.
Yeah, when you get a second, I got a question directly related to this.
Okay.
The original order is 3654486, and the redelivery is 36565.
What location is this? Dothan. You said 613, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Orlando Express.
No, we're aware of that. Because what still happened doesn't make sense. Like that would be but not that they should like cease to exist.
Alrighty, so
Well, it's actually what Dad's been reporting. That is that issue. That is cool.
okay, I see what you're talking about here. So I'm going to pull this up and share this. So this is the original order, right?
The one that's highlighted is the redelivery. 3 orders up is the original.
Got you. Okay. So here's the original order. Here's the redelivery.
Yeah, 8.6 is the delivery and 2.5 is the
I guess
redelivery.
we need to look at this other stuff.
So order number 2 is the original, order number 5 is the redelivery.
Which we also addressed with them.
Got it. Oh yeah. So I'm looking at this. Let me see here too. So here this shows it. Redelivery order.
But regardless, I would say the other issues we can talk about. I'm trying to pull those out.
It looks like this one's the original.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So number 2 is the redelivery. There's the original delivery. Number 5 is the redelivery. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. And
So I guess I will just say, like, generally speaking, like, if, let's just say even you send me an order at, like, for 6 p.m.
subtotal. So it looks like this shows, you know, the normal delivery, you owe them whatever,
If you send me an
$16. Then on the next order, you're getting $11.18 back
Right.
from that.
Like, it's gonna reset the pickup.
All right. I calculated up that 11.18. It was literally the same charge from number 2, just minus
Well,
the
like, anytime
the
you
difference
see
between
that
the credit,
order,
the restaurant adjustment, which was the full amount.
or whatever, you know,
Right.
like, that's pretty much gonna be the case. Or even like, I didn't add any time and you're up an hour. But
So it charged the restaurant $27.27.
Yeah, discounts $28.55 because it's discounting everything here.
Yeah, it was a $28.55 to the customer and $27.27 to the restaurant.
Got it.
And
yeah, here's the $27.27 down here.
yeah, that's the difference in because it doesn't do the markup
Right.
prices on that. So on that redelivery, it looks like, you know, the commission was $6.89. This and minus the sub total came out $16.09 for what we would have paid the restaurant originally.
Mm-hmm.
And then the difference between that $16.09 and that $27.27 is the $11.18.
Right.
So we're charging the restaurant for the commission, the tax, the driver fee, and everything else.
Right.
Even though it's not actual sell, because the restaurant's just remaking the items to be delivered.
Right. But you still have to deliver them, right?
Yes. So the driver still has to get paid.
Right.
Cool. But there was no true restaurant sell to charge taxes to. See what I'm saying?
So you're saying
The restaurant did it. The restaurant
this
didn't,
number includes the taxes. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yes. It's
Or it
exact.
shouldn't.
Yeah, it should. I don't think it should,
Yeah, I think you're right about
but
that.
it just depends on what it's how it's supposed to be used. I might be using it wrong
Yeah. No.
because the restaurant agreed it was their fault and they're going to remake the item. So the restaurant doesn't ring up a new order; they just remake it and we send our driver to go get it. So it's not really a true sell in that sense.
Right. So what should happen, I believe. Yeah, let me check. Let me just check on that because
Yes, I sent some screenshots for the calculations I did.
yeah. I mean, I understand why it's discounting this total amount. I'm not sure about the taxes and how they should be handled and whether that's because I would believe the discount would come off before the taxes and then the remaining balance would be taxed. The same way as if you're using like a gift card, right? Like if someone purchases a gift card, you pay taxes on the gift card. Then when you use that gift card and you deduct from the order total, I believe it deducts before the taxes, and then the taxes are applied to the remaining balance on the ticket. So we might need to make an adjustment there.
So I mean, if this time like you got out the restaurant.
Then I'm also curious on what's suggested for when using this for partner commissioned restaurant versus just a regular restaurant, because I'm collecting a second commission on that redelivery too.
So like, if
as
you're
well.
scheduling the send, you don't really need.
Because that restaurant has 30% commission.
Wait, like, there's a calculation. Pretty
Was-
simple. Is usually. So yeah, I mean.
See here.
It's pretty much self-development.
Okay, we're still showing the taxes on this line item. Okay. Sorry, repeat that question again, Alex. What's the way to use that discount when?
When using the delivery with a partner,
A
restaurant,
partner or non-partnered?
yeah, but especially in reflection of the commission, because it seems like I'm collecting a second commission on the redelivered items that the restaurant made as well.
Yeah.
Which I'm cool with, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the way we built it was when you do the redelivery, everything essentially stays the same. And then it's just like, who's responsible to pay for everything that happens with this order, right? So if it's the restaurant, they would pick up the driver, the tip. We use the same tip. They would pay that. If you have a commission, you're missing out on that driver, you're missing out on another sale or whatever. So they would pass on that commission as well, basically. So they're just essentially paying for that order. So I believe that's, I mean, this was built a while ago, but I'm pretty sure that's the way we built it. Now, when it comes to like a non-partnered restaurant or someone with a zero commission, it would just be the same. It's just, hey, here's an order and here's how much we would have collected for it. And because it was your fault, you are now going to pay that amount, right? But the tax thing is something that I am curious about.
the commission part sounds perfect. Or then
Yeah.
I just didn't know which way it was going. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
And then what is the suggested method to
Cancel an order?
Cancel an order, but it's a restaurant partner that we're still paying them, but I don't have to give a driver a commission because their driver wouldn't got it.
So Yeah, so the best way to do that is just to credit the consumer the full amount, right? You never want to cancel an order, like cancel, use that cancel button on the dispatch screen.
Right.
So unless nothing is happening with that order, right? So like I'm on a dispatch screen and let's say that this order came in and it's confirmed. And then the consumer says, oh, I want to cancel that order. It hasn't been sent to the restaurant. Nothing's happened. That's the only time you would ever want to cancel an order. Because when you cancel an order, it will not charge the credit card. It will not apply the sales to your account, right? To any of your reporting. It will not apply the delivery fee to the driver. It's like it never happened. So, but if you go in and you edit the order, so I'm talking about hitting this cancel button, right? But if I go in and I edit an order and I go to errors and adjustments and I want to give the current customer a full refund, I would just put the full amount here and say, you know, we messed up on the order, whatever, update. That refunds their card, but puts that on you. Like you still owe the restaurant for that order. You still owe the driver for that order. Now, let's say the driver screwed up and you want to take, you know, X dollars off, everything off for the customer, but then you want to apply a certain amount to the driver, you would then charge the driver what they made off the order, so then they wouldn't be paid, right? If it's the restaurant's fault, you would charge the restaurant.
Let's say a customer calls to cancel the order, but the restaurant's already have a driver isn't assigned to it yet, so we want to cancel it. Or we want to cancel it, but we're still paying the restaurant, but there is no driver.
So that's a good one, because what you'd actually have to do,
and I don't want to
actually what I would do is I would swap it to takeout, I think,
because takeout's a different commission rate than
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's interesting. The only thing I can suggest at this point for that is you would have a driver that you call like house driver, right? You would assign them to the order, then you would never pay them, basically. Because the issue there is you still need to mark the orders delivered for it to register in the reporting. So theoretically, what you would do if you're not going to change it to takeout is you would comp the entire amount. You could leave the driver payment or comp the driver payment, whatever, if you're not going to pay the driver anyway. I would probably comp it just so it's right in the reporting, showing that no one's getting paid a delivery fee for that. Then you would assign the driver to it and mark it delivered.
And so just make it like a fake driver account.
Yeah. The only other option would be to turn it to takeout, because as you know, you can't mark an order delivered. That's a delivery order if there's no driver on it.
Absolutely.
That's real interesting, though. Okay.
That answers most of my questions.
Awesome.
Back to me on the taxes part.
I mean, and Alex, I think I'll just put a note down for that. Redelivery taxes and
because I pulled up the financial tax report, and that tax is in there as I'm paying second tax.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check with our accountant on that to see, like, does that vary from municipality to municipality, how it's handled. But to me, it wouldn't make sense that they get to collect twice on something, right? Because I look at it, like I said, as like a gift card purchase. But the government, they do crazier things. So it's definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, it's not
if the
out of the
taxes were
question.
remitted to the restaurant, it wouldn't be an issue. But since we're
Right.
responsible for the taxes, it's different.
Okay. For delivery. Okay. Jeremiah, did you have a question?
Yeah, just occurred to me the difference in like with coupons and taxes. Like we do most of the time we're doing coupons on delivery fees, but occasionally we do coupons that are like 5 off 20.
Right.
On those, is it still collecting the full tax or is it collecting it after the discount? It just never came. It just never came up, and I was like, it just hit me, and I was like, that's never come up.
It collects, it collects before the discount.
Okay, that's why it's never come up then.
Because it's your coupon and not the restaurant's.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Just a weird thing that I never thought to ask.
Yep. All right. Okay, those are all those questions. Then, so I have an update. The new, which is what I was showing, by the way, I don't know if any of you guys noticed. The new restaurant invoice, I believe, will be released on Tuesday. I know we've talked about this a decent amount, but we're just finishing up all the tickets on that product. So items that will be out next week from reporting, the profit estimator's incorrect. It was not taking out certain fees that you were charging to restaurants, like you were charging them credit card processing. Of course, this was just like a per order profit estimation for you to kind of see, like, hey, how profitable are my deliveries versus my takeouts, or GFO versus web or app or whatever, right? So it shouldn't be some huge impact, but of course that data is always great to look at. You want it to be accurate. So that will be out next week. I'm going to say the driver floor pay probably won't be out next week. I'm hoping it'll be the week after that, but we're still working on, there's this critical issue with it right here. That's the highest priority. That's in progress, but it's been in progress for like 3 or 4 days, and the developers are having an issue resolving that. Then we have an update to national partner report issues, which the fact that you brought up redelivery is we realized what was happening was on a national partner redelivery, we were not including the redelivery amount in the sales, but we were adding it to the credit line. So we were pulling out those funds, but never adding them to the revenue, right? Where they need to be added to revenue, then removed through a credit. So that is being resolved. Of course, it's a very one-off thing, right? It's a national partner order that you end up doing a redelivery on. There's a tooltip now for cross-pay inflated payments on for the transactional report that shows you like every transaction and what came out of it. You'll notice that sometimes that report is a single transaction is inflated, and I'll show you guys. We've talked about this report a lot, but this order transaction breakdown. So what happens is if a single order can't pay a driver or a restaurant out, another order might do that. So what I noticed was that sometimes there was a number like over here, like a driver payment number that was massively inflated. Like it was a ridiculous amount, like this $31, right? I doubt that was for the entire, for that driver alone. So what'll happen now is there will be like a little tooltip here that shows you, hey, this payment not only paid this order, but it also paid, you know, this order and this order as well. So that I think will be very helpful. Then we talked about this earlier, the restaurant summary not matching the invoice. That's all done. It'll be out. We've updated the hours worked report, which is a big piece of the driver floor pay. And once that's all released, I'll go over everything in depth. And then we're redoing the pay on pickup reporting. It's just not accurately hitting everything or assigning the right orders. So that's something that we're working on. That won't be out next week. And then the last one is this, the update summary reports to match the default. So essentially right now, if you're auto sending invoices to your restaurants, like on a weekly, monthly, daily basis, it's using that default report setting. Now, once this goes live, it will start using the customized settings that are on each individual restaurant. So those things should all be going out next week. This one, we might not change until the week after next. We might just get it out there, give everyone a week to make sure like all their settings are right, which I know I've talked about this a decent amount now. And then we'll probably execute that the week after. So, and that's it for those. Any reporting questions? No.
Yeah, I got a question, Joe.
Sure.
So this is like in regards to the driver floor pay.
Yep.
I know you don't have it released yet, but I was looking at some reports because I'm going to do like my own guaranteed pay for drivers, but I want to do it on the weekly instead of daily. Okay, so I don't get too soaked, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about this a couple weeks back, but so there is a good report I found to figure out the hours. There's driver and then hours worked. When I looked at this report, I was kind of assuming that this is the report you guys were going to maybe suggest using to just look at general hours that the drivers worked, because it has like a use check-in time or use check-out time, right? Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah. So I really like this report, but when you generate it and you don't check in them boxes, I think I'm trying to generate my report right now just to see it. No, it's weird because it's shit. Let me refresh this. But anyways, you know how it only has like 2 columns right now? What I think it should have is like 4, like check-in time, first arrival time, last delivery, and then checkout time. Maybe.
So what we have is, if you don't check this out, like say you don't check this box, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you see this driver's information here, right, like check-in 11:51, 47:56, if I rerun this, see how the times are later now?
Yeah, I noticed that. Yep.
That just means that, and it's weird that the box rechecked itself. It means that when it ran that, it's using when they accepted their first orders. So see how it says first arrival time?
Yep.
So we just do it as an option. Like you can either do it when they check out or when they check in, or their first arrival time and their last delivery time.
Yeah, I think it works pretty good. So like what we're going to do, to kind of track this in our own system is I'm going to check the check-in time as start of shift, and then that's it. And then I'll run my report and I'll look over and say, okay, driver worked X amount of hours, and it's going to divide what I paid him out. Okay, so we're going to get guaranteed 20 an hour through the week. Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty easy to do. So yeah, I just wasn't sure if maybe we wanted an additional column or not. Yeah, it's just a thought.
Yeah, but you're saying for what, check-in or what do you want to use?
To see, if you were to check use check-in time as start of shift, then I think there should be a column that actually says that check-in time next to the first arrive time.
Well, no, it'll change. This will change to say use check-in, to say check-in. See that check-in time?
Oh shit! You know what? I didn't even notice that change.
You're using either or, and you might not have this report yet. This is new, so this stuff hasn't been. I don't think this has been released yet. This is all the stuff we're testing right now. So
Yeah.
yours might not do the same thing, Dusty, but that's
Okay.
essentially what it will do. You can choose and you can toggle one or the other. So you could say like, oh, I'm going to use their checkout time, or I'm going to use their first order time, and I'm going to use their checkout time, right? And if I do that, then this one is going to change to first, and this one will stay checkout, right? So you can, it's just
Right.
instead of having it all these columns, we just have it so you can toggle it and use whatever you want.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, so it looks like on my report that I can see the 2 check boxes, the first 2 that are in the center there, and then
Yeah.
but then my first arrival time name does not change yet, and
Yeah.
then I don't have the other 2 check boxes.
These
to get
2.
to the,
Yep.
Right. Yep.
Yep. These are
Okay.
new.
Cool. All right. Other than that, I like the report. I mean, it makes it really simple to do
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do. So, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
The only thing I worry about with what you're looking to do, because do you use auto pay for your drivers?
I don't.
Okay, then it won't be an issue. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and we did add this new, there's going to be this new option here for driver check-in control. So you can either have it to where when a driver checks in, they're just checked in and their clock starts, or you can say require dispatcher approval. So what'll happen is I will check in, let's say I check in at 11, and at 11:05, a dispatcher approves my check-in, then my clock will start at 11 when I checked in, right? Because they've approved me being checked in. Then the third option is require dispatch approval, or they accept an order. So when I go to check in, it's not that I'm actually not checked in. I am checked in, but the clock for floor pay won't start until either A, I'm approved by a dispatcher, or B, I get an order, right? Like once I get an order, you obviously want me to work. So, but you'll be able to, on the dispatch screen, you'll be able to see a little box. There's a box that will pop up and say like approved drivers. And for, even if you have multiple locations, they'll all be in one box. It says the name of the driver, and it just shows a red button that says approve or disapprove, and shows the location that they're checking into. So that's also something that we added to that for anyone who's going to be interested in using this.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I did put in I was talking on the dispatch meeting, I dropped in the DC channel. We're going to try something with this, with the floor pay thing, to, you know, to say it to drivers and, you know, in a compliant way.
Right.
So I did drop that in my DC channel. I talked about it today. And so like basically we're going to say that drivers are going to receive a bonus that ensures their weekly payout equates to 20, right, before any possible charges to them for a driver liable issue.
Yeah.
In order for them not soak us, because we went and looked through our the driver cash outs last week, and for the most part all of our drivers did make over 20 an hour on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But the couple that didn't, they were the ones that just took the daytime shifts, right?
Right.
So we say, hey, you got to take 2 dinners. We also run an on-call shift for both lunch and dinner. So say, hey, if you take 2 of the on-calls, cool. Well, we will say that you're good for the bonus program, right? Or bonus plan, you know. So I'm trying to figure out the wording here to really say it, and I think it could be helpful for
anyone
that's going to be using floor pay.
There's going to be some if you're using this this feature, there's going to be some automated messaging that goes out.
Okay.
You know, and I'll double check, but I don't think there's an issue with telling a contractor, I guarantee you this much money on you know, whatever. It's not an hourly rate. It's a guaranteed minimum. It's a job that you're paying a contractor for, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there's a huge issue with the messaging, but you know, of course, better safe than sorry. So We'll look at our messaging too. I think the way we have it, it just, kind of states that there's an hourly minimum for the jobs that they've, that they're looking to execute. And
Gotcha.
this is the amount. So,
Okay,
It could have been,
cool.
because it got found.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
But I guess it's possible the driver was like driving.
all right. Any other questions on any reporting items?
Is using. No, I mean, look, it's.
All right, cool.
the,
Is Mark on? I thought I saw he was on, but no, I don't see him. All right, does anyone have any general questions about any updates, any items, features?
Yeah, how about the zip code tax thing? How close is
The
that?
zip code tax thing will be, unless something goes wrong, it will be out on Tuesday. It's already ready in the list to go out on Tuesday.
Sweet. And then with the driver floor pay, are
Yep.
you guys thinking to make that can be calculated on weekly instead of daily?
Not right now, but if you're not using auto pay, it shouldn't. Well,
I don't know what
The way
it's
I'm
still-
doing it doesn't take a long time, right? It's not like a huge issue to me. So
yeah.
if it's not a huge issue to everybody else, then I get it.
Yeah, as long as you're not filling in like what it should be here, because what happens is the system will automatically add on a daily basis the amount that each driver needs to make the daily minimum you have added either here or in their profile into their driver cash out, right? So
Right.
you're definitely not going to want to use this. You're just going to want to run reports and say, okay, here's how I'm going to do it differently, right? I won't say that it's not possible that we expand this to be a little more flexible, but I don't think it's anything we'll do for at least like 3 months, right? Like we'll release this, get it into the wild, let clients use it. And if a bunch of clients are like, oh, we'd like to see it as a weekly or this option or that option, then we'll start exploring that stuff down the line a little bit.
Yeah, totally understand. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Yep. Jeremiah?
Yeah, I can tell you right now that we want to use it, but we would want to use it on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Like, the daily just wouldn't work for us.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, once and for you, it's an auto pay thing, right? Like it's going to go by and it'll pay those drivers off before you even, do anything
Yeah.
because it all automated.
Yeah, we're on
So-
auto pay, so yeah, we can't really use it.
Again, once I get it released and people are using it and there are no issues, I would say, because we'll probably talk about it once it gets released, at least the first like 3 or 4 weeks, especially if someone on here is using it. But once things calm down, then if you guys want to bring it up to me in, like a month or so and just see where we are, because I do think it would just be like an option for daily or weekly. And then if we do it weekly, we would if you're using all the same data, you're just changing the equation, right? But then the challenge comes into how do you do that weekly? Like, is everyone going to be Monday to Sunday? Like, because then, Jeremiah might be like, well, I really run my weeks Sunday to Saturday. And Dusty might be like, I run my weeks, Monday to Sunday, right? So that's where it really starts to get to a point where it's unmanageable. So, but we'll talk about that when we get to that point. And if we can make it simple in a way that everyone can use it, then I don't think it'll be that complex.
Excellent. I'll just hold on to that then.
All right, cool.
I'm going to think about this a little bit more as far as how much I'm going to guarantee. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
guarantee 20 hourly through the week, but if I back that down to a lower number, I could use the daily and not get soaked,
Yeah.
right? So I'll think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I might give it a try. So, okay. Because you can just go in on everybody's because even though you click this here, don't you still have to click something in the driver's profile?
You don't, but you can edit it in their profile. So this,
Okay.
will take place for the location as a whole. But if you go into a driver and put something in manually there, it overrides all the locational settings.
Well, I mean, that
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's not that bad a deal. Great. Okay. Because you might have an instance where you want to guarantee a driver a little bit more because they're doing a better job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, they're working as a favor one day. So you go, listen, if you hop on right now, I'll guarantee you $25 an hour. You could go in, change that, and then at the end of the shift or tomorrow you change it back, right? Like, so there are different things you could do. All right. I know a couple other things that are coming down the pipeline. Order Logic, we have an update to the taxes that are being like shown or not shown on Order Logic, the options and sub options and how far they go. And then I believe, and we talked about it today because we're working on changing the audio alert, but I think we're going to end up having like 3 options for the audio alert. So your restaurants can choose one independently. And did the mapping stuff get pushed for the driver app yet? Do you know?
It did, and I put a in-app display message to get everybody to update.
Okay.
So it's that and the cha-ching, the new order cha-ching sound. They can toggle that on and off now.
All right, great. So once your drivers get updated, if they're having issues with addresses still, or the mapping system is sending them to the wrong address, but the address is right on the order, it's just not sending them there, please let us know for sure. So anything else? Anyone have anything else?
Yeah, I got a weird situation that's been coming up for us with the OLO orders, the courier orders.
Yep.
Bolay keeps sending us courier. We have like 6 now. They send us courier orders, and apparently they send them to another company at the same time, and it's kind of like whoever gets there first. And
really? Okay, great. I need to have that information. We've been waiting for some jacked up. So when you arrive there, they're like, we got to
Uber
match
already
up with
got
what
it.
yeah, they're like
Olo's
somebody
doing.
just left with it. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So I think they're more than one company or something, and I don't know how that's happening.
Okay, can you that's great information. Do you have order numbers for me?
Yeah, I got a ticket in.
Beautiful.
It's basically C61 through C11-1 through C6-1. They come in with their own thing.
Do you know what that ticket number is?
The ticket number is BSD 63237. Or sorry, 36237.
All right. 3627 BSD?
Yeah, that's the one right there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not, we don't really have any information on it. You know what I mean? It's just, we get there and the driver's like, they said somebody else, another company just left with it. And, I'm sure the ones that we've taken, somebody else showed up right behind us,
Yeah. So you're saying C61 through like whatever there's other ones after that?
Yeah, it's just the C orders. They're like,
Right.
I think that's the 6th one, so that's C6.
Okay. And so you're saying all the ones before that. I just want to get as many examples.
Yeah.
All
So like
okay, cool.
C1,
One,
C2, C3,
C2,
yeah,
C3. Okay.
up
cool.
to 6.
All right, thank you.
And it's just
I'm looking
interesting.
at this
They aren't telling us anything about like if they're like picking 2 companies or switching or anything. So we can't get any information from them about it.
Yeah, but at least it's good. You're getting some order volume. So if we can fix that, right, then it could be a very good thing. All right, we'll dig in.
Yep, great. Thank you.
I feel that allows them to do this.
Great. Anyone have anything else?
I'm not really sure.
I think I got one more, but I'm looking for it here.
Okay.
Caleb, you're on here. Didn't you have something?
Let me tell you why I think this is so important and the reason I'm not just allowing that to be the answer today. Sometimes I will.
Caleb, you're on mute if you're talking.
Because like 2 Fridays ago, like on the Texas
Oh,
And
I
I'm
can talk for him here. He's saying what exactly triggers a late SMS, because he put it on Slack here. Some orders that should need a late SMS sent aren't getting one, and ones that don't necessarily require one are.
So that should be
I was doing what I could so that he would actually have to work less hard.
here in your location settings.
There's just nothing to like prevent that. So like, not to say not to use tools, like definitely do, you know, because you can't necessarily.
This, you're talking about the order delayed, right?
But I also.
Yeah, and I mean I think what he's saying is it's not consistent. We're getting people that are getting late order SMSs that the order's not late, and then some people that they do need the message, they aren't getting it.
Yeah, so right now, yours is all based on when the driver arrives, and it could be happening because this isn't going to always be true, right? Like, this is just saying when an order is due in 15 minutes and the driver has not arrived yet, send this message.
Okay,
So
that makes total
so
sense.
yeah, so theoretically it could be like, hey, it's only a 5-minute drive, so yeah, we don't need to be there 15 minutes early. Or it could be that it's a 35-minute drive and you actually need to be there much earlier, right?
Yeah.
I think once we get some more of the like, when we start using more of the information on drive time and expected delivery based on current market conditions and what's going on with that order, we'll be able to get rid of this and just say, like, what kind of buffer do you want here, right? Like, if we think the order is going to be more than X minutes late, then send this order. Where right now it's I mean, to be truthful, it's just like dumb, right? It's just like, hey, if this thing hasn't happened by this time, send.
Yeah.
So
No, that makes total sense. All right, thank you.
but Caleb, if you guys see something that looks way off, right? Like, oh, it's not due for like an hour and we're sending this off or something like that, hit us up and we'll see what's going on. Anyone have anything else? Jeff, nothing for the day, huh? Very quiet. It's rare. All right, well, I'll let you guys go. Next week should be, as long as everything gets released, we should be able to go through a bunch of it. You all will be able to follow along. So I'm looking forward to getting a lot of these updates done that should help the reporting match up a little better and give you guys the ability to follow your money a little more accurately. So. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you all next week.
See you guys.
All right, everyone, have a great day.
Go Bolts. Go Bolts, Sandy. Dusty. Well, Dusty, you don't care. You're not.
I don't care. I don't watch hockey.
Yeah. All right, guys.
See ya.